Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob Restituto, and I'm a musician from Northport, New York. And today we have something quite different, actually. This is a Patreon request. Shout out to Sharon. You are the best. And actually, I want to remind you that you were the first. I give you the props you deserve because you were the first person to ever sign up for the special request. Like, I guess it's guaranteed request on the Patreon section. That being said, this is a little out of the wheelhouse of what we usually do on the channel, this kind of music, but you gave a really cool explanation. You said that, I love guitars, and that I recently spent some time in Nashville. So based on your opinion, see, these are some of the best instrumentalists that ever lived. So I'm very much looking forward to checking this out. This is Glen Campbell and Roy Clark playing Ghost Riders in the Sky. I saw the first 3 seconds of the intro because it was loading when I pulled it up, and I was like, this is gonna be very interesting. So very much looking forward to checking this out. If you guys want to check out my music, it is the best way to check out or support the channel, as well as subscribing, because it shows me that you guys like the content and you want to see more of that specific content. If you want to see my music, here's a little clip of it.
From this, I spilled my drink again. My chance to say something. Now at least you're close to me. Guess that's better than nothing.
Thank you so much. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And let's get right into this. And if you want to get a guaranteed request to go through, check out the Patreon. There's a link down below.
Now here's Roy Clark and my friend Glen Campbell with a fine instrument.
Fine instrument. That guitar is beautiful. Yeah, okay, let's talk about this really quick. Right off the bat, has a very, very, very distinct tone, and that tone is of a Stratocaster guitar. So Strats are... I'm sorry, no, wow. Big mistake. Not a Telecaster. Telecaster guitar, not a Stratocaster. Telecasters are... They look different. They don't have the protruding edge as the Strats have, but they have a much twangier sound. And the original country style guitar, they have a much brighter and twangier sound, and even maybe a little more brittle than a Strat, which has a bit more of the mid-range kind of a little bit more grungier. And then you have something like a Les Paul that has humbuckers, and that one is in particular because it's two single coils together, it gives a fatter, can be more distorted sound sometimes. Oh, come on, the harmonies on that. I don't know what he's using though, what kind of guitar that white guitar is. Gray guitar. It's crazy. I gotta say, I gotta pause for this. I gotta say that I think that while I don't have a problem with where music is today, because I hate when people knock today's music. I think it's just things change. And one of the things I do have to say that I think has changed is musicianship. You can't knock the fact that these guys were incredible musicians. Now, music has changed. Now, whether this feels for the better or the worse is your own opinion. I just think it's changed in general. That doesn't matter if it's good or bad. But one thing that I don't know if you can even argue has changed is musicianship. Back then, you had to be such a good musician. And these guys were so good. Now you don't necessarily have to be as good. Now, is that bad? No, it's just different, I think. But, man, the musicianships that they had back then, it was pretty wild. But to some degree, let me say this really quick, to some degree, it's out of necessity, too, though, because there weren't the tools that you had. So is it, okay, another theory, if you want to, get philosophical for a sec, is, back, in biblical times, they used to build things out of clay with their bare hands, now we use machines. Well, is that better that we did it with our hands because it was more organic and it was more, or now are we just using technology? That's an interesting argument, yeah, they had to learn all these crazy instruments and stuff, and really had to be good on the guitar, but now we have technology where you don't necessarily have to. When you just kind of take it out of context and just do the musician one, it's okay, obviously, yeah, of course you want to be a better musician. But when you put the work one, it's oh, we used to have to send snail mail, or we used to have to mail things. Now we can email. Well, is snail mail better? It's an interesting argument, and when you start to contextualize it into modern technology. I like the spring reverb we have on the guitar. And the bass walking. Boom, 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 boom. It's cool. What's also really cool is they have the two different tones of guitar choices. That's very important because otherwise they kind of like overlap each other. One's a bit brighter, one's a bit warmer, like fuller. It's crazy. You see the guy playing slide guitar on the right? That's cool. Bass is just killing. Oh, that's a 12 string. Crazy. They're getting so into it. I love it. Yeah. Come on, shredding that scale. Which is wild that he's doing that on a 12 string. 12 strings, the way that they work, it's 12 string as opposed to 6 on the guitar. But the way it is it's usually a skinnier string next to a fatter string. So it gives usually about an octave. I believe, though, that like the high E and B might not be octaves. The steel strings might be like the single strings, because then the lower 3 strings are wound with another string. It might be octaves on the lower 3, and might be unisons for the top 3. I haven't played one in a long time, but it gives this very wide, big, like and like shimmery kind of effect, because you have extra octaves and extra harmonics and extra overtones now. But the fact that he's shredding like that on the 12 strings is actually pretty wild, because you have to play 2 strings when you play it. When you do it, you're actually hitting 2 strings with your fingers. When it normally be 1, obviously. The pluckiness, man, that's the twang. Oh, where'd that dirt come from? Yeah, baby. That was killer. I like that. That was actually really interesting. I don't know if I've heard Glen Campbell and Roy Clark, but I know that I've heard their names for sure. I just don't know if I really am familiar with their music. But that was fantastic. Thank you so much, Sharon, for that request. I really enjoyed that. Thank you. And if you guys want a specific guaranteed request, because I know that I sometimes do requests, on the channel, but like I can't guarantee everybody. So if you want a guaranteed request, check out Patreon. You get special requests. So thank you so much. You are the best. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day. God bless and peace out.